Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Sometimes students ask a question that how to critically analyze literary piece. So any literary piece has got uh, two very important components. One is its content or substance, okay, content, and or you can say substance, and the second one is the form, okay. So every literary piece, be it lyrical poetry, narrative poetry, be it a tragedy, a comedy, or it is a novel, a short story, any type of fiction. So basically it has got two important component. One is the content or the substance or the idea, the theme, or you can say thoughts, ideas, etc. And second one is form. So form includes its genre, like whether it is an ode, it is elegy, it is an epic, mock epic, it is a sonnet, etc. And form also includes devices like stylistic devices, you can say uh, figures of speech or diction implied by the poet if it is a poetic piece, or if it is a someone has written a novel or some drama, etc. So the language or the code used is known as form. So there are many approaches towards literary analysis or literary appreciation, critical appreciation. Now there are three parties towards a piece, literary piece. Number one is the text itself. Okay, text itself. Second one is the author, the person who has composed it, and the third main stakeholder is reader, the reader. Okay. Now there are literary theories, which some of the literary theories say that whenever you are going to analyze a literary piece, okay, so you need to keep the socio-political background of the author, because according to that theory, it is the author that influences the text. So the author lives in an age and he or she is influenced by that age. So the trends, the literary trends, political movements, etc., are religious upheavals in that age. They influence the writing process of the author. So the age or the spirit of the age is reflected in the text written by a certain author. So a reader, while reading, he or she has to be mindful to the age in which the author lived. This is one of the theory. Second theory says that the text is an independent entity, and even if a reader doesn't know who is the author, he or she can easily interpret or analyze or critically appreciate the text. No need of knowing who has composed it. And third theory is about the reader response theory, that a reader has his or her own way to interpret the text. So the author has written the text. Now it is reader who is going to get at the meaning. So the meaning derivation of the meaning is now on the part of the reader. So reader may fetch any meaning from the text. So the author does not have any control now. The author does not have any control over the meaning. So whatever may have been the intention of the author, now it is in the past. Now the text is permanence. Text has got permanence, and reader is going to interpret. So text may have been written in 16th century, but the 21st century reader is going to extract meaning according to their own conditions in which he or she is living. So text has got the permanence, but its interpretation may be different. So it is left to the reader. Anyhow, it's a detailed or debatable issue, but for BS students who just want to go for critical analysis or literary appreciation or literary appraisal of a literary piece, I would suggest that whenever you approach a literary piece, so there are two important components. One is the content or the substance, and the another one is the form or diction or code. Form, diction or code. Now there are two main approaches towards, there are many approaches as I earlier mentioned, but one of the approach is known as literary criticism. Okay, now literary criticism is a traditional approach. Literary criticism. And the second one is an emerging approach known as stylistic approach. Stylistic approach. Now these both approaches, literary criticism and stylistic approach, they evaluate a literary piece. When we say evaluate, actually they just talk about the content as well as form. Now what's the difference between these two approaches? The first one, that is literary approach, what does it do? It focuses mainly on the substance or the content. So its main aim is to talk about the theme, to the substance or the thought, and so the content is discussed primarily. It is brought to the foreground. That is, foreground mean this content is brought to the foreground, and the language or the diction or the form is kept in the background. So content is in the foreground. So this is the approach. Now stylistic approach, what does it do? Stylistic approach brings the language or the form or language, or you can say poetic diction, in the foreground, and technically we call it foregrounding. And once all the literary devices are the figures of speech, all the special language or special feature of the literary text, such as parallelisms and deviations. There are many types of deviations in a text. Once they have been discussed and explained, then they turn their attention towards the meaning or the substance. Okay, meaning or content. So this is the difference. The literary approach, literary criticism, which is the olden way of appraising the text, or the traditional approach, literary criticism. So its main focus is on meaning or content, and stylistic approach, stylistics analysis, which is usually linguistic analysis, focuses mainly on language, okay, or the code. And once all this has been explained, then they talk about the meaning or the content. Now what is the piece of advice for a BS student? A BS student, whenever he or she is tasked to critically evaluate or critically find out the worth of a literary piece, so a BS student must keep this very important point on the back of their mind, that they have to discuss not only the meaning or the content of a piece, rather they also have to discuss the form of the text, or the genre of the text, or the code of the text, or the language of the text. So they should write 5 to 6 paragraphs, and 2 or 3 paragraphs for content, quality of the content, the theme, And second, they must talk about form or genre. Like if it is a sonnet, so they must write few lines about its being sonnet. If it is an epic, they must talk about its epical features. And also literary devices. Okay, when we say literary devices, a literary text is not an ordinary text. Okay, literary text, in literary text, uh, there are two important features. One is known as parallelisms. Okay, parallelism. And second one is deviations. Parallelism talks about regularity in the text. Regularity in the text, like each text has got some regularities. Okay, these regularities are rhymes, like, okay. Then we have another other prosodic features, like we have the text, they have meter. Okay, then there are few other musicality things like assonance. Then we have alliteration. Okay, alliteration. Then some other features are there. So these musical features, they are known as regularities of the text, so they must be pointed out, because writers purposefully introduces all this, and they try to push readers towards meaning. And as far as deviations are concerned, there are many deviations. Okay, these are known as irregularities in the text. Like the poets or the author, usually they use irregular syntax. Okay, syntactical irregularity or syntactical reversal. Syntax, usually we have this type of syntax, basic syntax, subject, verb and object. But the authors, the writers, the people who create text, they may invert this, like instead of saying he went down the valley, he went down the valley, let's say he went down the valley, this is the usual word order. They may the writer may say, let's say, down the valley, down the valley, down the valley, down the valley, went he. So this is a syntactical deviation in the text. And there are other deviations, like even nominalization or the word vocabulary. It is also produced in a way that is quite different. So instead of saying, let's say we often have very bad. Okay, very very bad. So bad can't be very, so the epithet has been transferred to the bed. Actually, the traveler or the person who lies on the bed, he or she is weary or exhausted. So there are many types of syntactical deviation. There are morphological deviations. There are semantic even deviations. So all this has to be discussed. Figures of speech, they need to be discussed. Okay, and some authors are in the habit of using Latinism or archaic language. All this has to be pointed out. So I hope you have got an idea how to do literary analysis or critical analysis of a literary text. So whenever you attempt a critical appraisal or critical analysis of a literary text, you need to keep these very important points in mind, that you have to discuss content of the text. You have to content mean meaning, which is the main aim of the author. You have to discuss the form or diction of the text. And when I say form, I mean the genre or the template of the text, whether it is epic, tragedy, comedy. So all this has to be discussed. And you can use any approach. It can be literary tradition, literary criticism, that is the traditional way to approach a text, or you can use emerging or the modern approach known as stylistic analysis of a text. That's it. So let's I talk about a lyric by John Milton. The name of the lyric is On His Blindness. Now, keeping all this in view, you can approach now this literary piece by John Milton, which was composed on his blindness. Okay, so there are so many other lyrical as well as narrative literary pieces. If we talk about poetry, or if we talk about poetic drama, then we have a tragedy or a comedy. If we talk about novel, we have short story and a novelette, novella, or novel proper. So we can take up any literary piece and we can go set about analyzing it using either of the approaches. Thank you very much.